Hi, Miss Jeannette again. Today we're going to read the book, The Art Lesson by Tommy DePaula. Tommy wrote this story and did the illustrations. The special thing about him is that he is a great illustrator and he's written lots and lots of books. You may know some of them. At the end we'll see some pictures of the characters that he's created. So let's start The Art Lesson by Tommy DePaula. Tommy knew he wanted to be an artist when he grew up. He drew pictures everywhere he went. It was his favorite thing to do. His twin cousins, who were already grown up, were in art school learning to be real artists. They told him not to copy and to practice, practice, practice. So he did. Tommy put his pictures up on the walls of his half of the bedroom. He shared his bedroom with a brother, I bet. His mom put them up all around the house. His dad took them to the barber shop where he worked. Look at his pictures. Does your mom put your pictures on the refrigerator? That's an old-timey refrigerator. And does your dad or your grandpa or your uncle take them to work with him sometimes? Tom and Nana, Tommy's Irish grandfather and grandmother, had his pictures in their grocery store. Nana Fall River, his Italian grandmother, put one in a special frame on the table next to the photograph of Aunt Chloe in her wedding gown. Everybody loves Tommy's pictures. Once, Tommy took a flashlight and a pencil under the covers and drew pictures on his sheets. But when his mom changed the sheets on Monday and found them, she said, "No more drawing pictures on the sheets, Tommy." Sometimes we just can't draw pictures, can we? His mom and dad were having a new house built. So Tommy drew pictures of what it would look like when it was finished. Look, there's the house. And he says this is his summer house. And that's what his room is going to look like. He's a pretty good artist. When the walls were up, one of the carpenters gave Tommy a piece of bright blue chalk. Tommy took the chalk and drew beautiful pictures all over the unfinished walls. But when the painter came, his dad said, "That's it, Tommy. No more drawing on the walls." Does your mom let you draw on the walls? I bet not. Tommy couldn't wait to go to kindergarten. His brother Joe told him there was a real art teacher who came to the school to give art lessons. "When do we have our art lessons?" Tommy asked the kindergarten teacher. "Oh, you won't have your art lessons until next year," said Miss Bird. "But we are going to paint pictures tomorrow." Do you think Tommy's excited about that? I bet he is. Oh, but it wasn't much fun. The paint was awful, and the paper got all wrinkly. Miss Bird made the paint by pouring different colored powders into different jars and mixing them with water. The paint didn't stick to the paper very well, and it cracked. Have you ever painted something and the paint cracked? If it was windy when Tommy carried his picture home, the paint blew right off the paper. At least you get more than one piece of paper in kindergarten, his brother Joe said. When the art teacher comes, you only get one piece. Uh-oh, do you think Tommy's getting a little worried? Tommy knew that the art teacher came to the school every other Wednesday. He could tell she was an artist because she wore a blue smock over her dress, and she always carried a big box of thick colored chalk. She wore that smock, why do you think? Yeah, to keep her clothes clean. Once Tommy and Jeannie looked at the drawings that were hung up in the hallway, they were done by the first graders. Your pictures are much better, Jeannie told Tommy. Next year when we have real art lessons, you'll be the best one. Look at those pumpkins. Those are cute. But do they all look kind of the same? Tommy could hardly wait. He practiced all summer. Then, on his birthday, which was right after school began, his mom and dad gave him a box of 64 Crayola crayons. Regular boxes of crayons had red, orange, yellow, green, blue, brown, and black. This box had so many other colors: blue, violet, turquoise, red, orange, pink, and even gold, silver, and copper. What a great present for an artist. Class, said Miss Landers, the first grade teacher, next month the art teacher will come to our room. So on Monday, instead of singing, we will practice using our crayons. Oh, I bet Tommy's going to be excited. On Monday, Tommy brought his 64 crayons to school. Miss Landers was not pleased. Everyone must use the same crayons, she said. School crayons. School crayons had only the same old 8 colors. As Miss Landers passed them out to the class, she said, "These crayons are school property, so do not break them, peel off the paper, or wear down the points." Now, one thing I know about crayons is if you break them, they still work. How am I supposed to practice being an artist with school crayons? Tommy asked Jack and Herbie. That's enough, Tommy, Miss Landers said. And I want you to take those birthday crayons home with you and leave them there. And Joe was right. They only got one piece of paper. Finally, the day of the art lesson came. Tommy could hardly sleep that night. The next morning, he hid the box of 64 crayons under his sweater and went off to school. He was ready. You think he's going to get to use all of those colors? Let's see. The classroom door opened and in walked the art teacher. Miss Landers said, "Class, this is Mrs. Bowers, the art teacher. Patty, who is our paper monitor this week, will give out one piece of paper to each of you. And remember, don't ruin it because it is the only piece you'll get. Now, pay attention to Mrs. Bowers." Uh-oh, doesn't sound promising for Tommy, does it? "Class," Mrs. Bowers began, "because Thanksgiving is not too far away, we will learn to draw a pilgrim man, a pilgrim woman, and a turkey. Watch carefully and copy me." Uh-oh. what did Tommy's cousins tell him about real artists? Copy? Copy? Tommy knew that real artists didn't copy. This was terrible. This was supposed to be a real art lesson. He folded his arms and just sat there. Now what's the matter? Miss Landers asked. Tommy looked past her and right to Mrs. Bowers. I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, and my cousins told me that real artists don't copy. And besides, Miss Landers won't let me use my own 64 Crayola crayons. Ooh, he's being a little rude, isn't he? Let's see what happens. Well, well, Mrs. Bowers said, what are we going to do? She turned to Miss Landers and they whispered together. Miss Landers nodded. Now, Tommy, Mrs. Bowers said, it wouldn't be fair to let you do something different from the rest of the class. But I have an idea. If you draw the pilgrim man and woman and the turkey, and if there's any time left, I'll give you another piece of paper and you can do your own picture with your own crayons. Can you do that? I'll try, Tommy said with a big smile. And he did. See his drawing of the pilgrim man and the woman and the turkey? Pretty good, huh? And he did. Who did he draw? He drew Mrs. Bowers with some pretty flowers. And he still does. Because the Tommy in the story is the Tommy that wrote the book, Tommy DePaula. He wrote a book about a lady named Stregonona, and there's Stregonona. And he wrote a book about Bill and Pete and lots of others. We might try to read some of those too sometime. So this is the art lesson that Tommy DePaula learned when he was a little boy. And since you've got plenty of time at home, and I bet you have some paper and some crayons, go be an artist. See you next time.